Do you feel that itch, that desire, you were meant for more, but you don't know how to get there? You don't know what more to do, or if you're doing the wrong thing. I get you. Are you dreaming of 6-figure months, willing to settle for a 6-figure year? Well, listen, I was too. I started over. I gutted my life, personal and business, at 49. I went from a very comfortable mid-6-figure range income with no debt, space to move, and loved it. But I wanted more. I mean, more, right? Then I went from that, when I took the leap, and making 6-figure years was a dream. I was like, what did I do? I mean, not even making 6-figure years to 6-figure months within 3 years. The difference? Well, the Menopause Fitness Specialist, for one, that was a new program and course. I'd been having success with our Flipping 50 audience, and I took it and packaged it up because, one of us does so much good in the fitness industry with people, changing the world, but an army of us does so much more. So why would I keep something that I knew was working to myself and just say, no, I'm going to try to get everybody to follow me and my voice and my quirks? And it's just not the way it works. There are some people who are actually, I call them mean girls, who they're really quite nasty on social media. And, that reminds me that my voice, maybe it's my face, is never going to resonate with everybody, and neither is yours. And we have to grow a little thicker skin, not too thick, because I think it's okay that we still feel that, because it makes us able to look and say, is there a little degree of truth to that? That of course I can see how something I might say or the way I said it could land on someone feeling negative. And then it's okay if they move on to somebody else, because they're, number one, not your ideal client or customer, or are you their ideal coach? So I think it's okay to get to that point. But in addition to the Menopause Fitness Specialist, Flipping 50s Specialist course, and Marketing to Women course, that's been a big one. They've been super supporters of trainers and health coaches during the pandemic, which is in part when I hit that level of 6-figure months. But my friend, I really want you to understand this, that if you're not making even 6-figure years and you think I'm tuning out, I'm out, don't do that. Please stick around. So at 49, I quit my job. Safety, security was gone. I no longer was working at the university. I'd quit that a couple of years before. Now I'm in a private business controlling what I made, and I work hard, and I knew what worked, and I learned the systems. I developed the systems, and I did them, and that worked really well for me. And then I was like, I have to share this. And so I quit that job in order to do it and build a bigger brand, not just to share with women, the customers, but to share with you, trainers and health coaches, when I left. But you know what happens when you do that? You realize you've just gutted your whole life, and that suddenly there is nothing coming in, no money coming in. I mean, I trained, my neighbor 3 houses down the street, once or twice a week. And that was just to remind me who I was and what I did. And it was not really keeping me alive, right? Not even paying the bills. But there were several years of struggle, of starting over, building a business, developing the courses and the things and the website, and, getting back out there. And there's a little ding to your ego, and you're wondering about your ability to do it again, even though you've been highly successful elsewhere, even just very recently in the same industry. But for any of you who are switching industries or starting over, I understand that doubt of who might be doing this, that little voice saying that. Just tell her, shut up. She just doesn't know. Okay. All right. So tongue in cheek, right? Got to laugh because otherwise it gets pretty serious. But I want you to know it wasn't really any of those things. So I worked with my consumer side of things. We call that flipping 50. And then fitness marketing mastery is what I do for you, fitness and health coaches, where yes, we also house the flipping 50 specialist course there, as well as marketing courses, support you in either coaching or masterminding if you prefer a group for those who want to go on and they're a good fit. So the application process doesn't happen until fall, but we'll go through that again. But having two arms to the business, that's actually a lot. It's hard to juggle that and switch back and forth. That means two different websites. I actually have three because I'm also a speaker, but it's also two different sets of social media. It's also then at some point you can't do that all, so you hire a team. Well, you've got to meet with them. So that's a different kind of time and a drain. But it's not those things, but it's the mindset shifts that I either made or helped other people and trainers make along the way. And I had these mindset shifts myself at one point or needed to revisit them. And I'm just going to share them with you today because no matter where you are, way below maybe 6-figure years, let alone 6-figure months, and wondering how you could ever do that, your mindset is going to depend on what you're able to do. It's going to determine what you're able to do, better said. So potentially this itch, this desire, the knowing you were meant to do more than you are doing right now, but not knowing how or who gets it. And you, I do, I get you. So here it is. I'm Deborah Atkinson. You're listening to what we now call She Means Fitness Business, the place to get marketing and sales strategies that are anything but sleazy, salesy, or pushy so that you can build both a business and a life that you love. And that means you not only build a successful, thriving, profitable business, but you have the freedom in time and the money to enjoy it. And that is where often trainers have painted themselves into a picture. Oh, it's very profitable. We have great profitable business, but, I'm working, from 6 a.m. until 7 p.m. And I'm like, okay. How are you enjoying that again? Do you see yourself selling it, retiring? When's that going to happen? So there's things that might prohibit you from what you would say having success. So you want to look at what are you building? What do you want? What's your idea of success as well? But let's dive into these. Number one, I had to stop thinking that busy was productive. And I am telling you that I have to make this mindset shift every day, every stinking day. And this, I think, is going to follow me to my grave because I feel like I'm more in control when I'm taking action. Anybody else? So, I would rather be making a list of things to do, creating more podcasts, writing more articles, thinking of the list of videos that I will create for social media. And, if you don't stop and at the end of every week, and we do it at the beginning on Mondays or at the end of every month or the end of every quarter, also big numbers that you want to take into account, look at, is all that busyness that I'm doing reaping rewards? You have to know what numbers matter. What should you be looking at? Because you shouldn't be looking at how many podcasts did I put out? How many columns or articles or blogs did I put out? How many reels did I create? You should be looking at the end result. What was that? Number one, how many emails did you get? How much engagement did you get? Because that's telling you about topics and success of a topic as it resonates with your audience. But those things are important. So getting out of my own way is one of the things I really have to look at. And when you measure the numbers, I was having my project manager post 4 different social media memes at different times per podcast. And then we were looking at, okay, what's the end result? How much is our podcast download number growing during the 2 months, 2.5 that we've been doing that? And now that we haven't been doing that it will be a month very soon here, we've seen it slow down. So in that case, there's an argument for doing more, but it is productive, right? 4 posts, because there were 4 different unique posts that we created. They were probably like getting somebody else's attention, not just one post about a podcast. It's going to get everybody's attention. So we found that was, although made somebody busier, it was actually very productively happening. So if we were getting 10,000, 20,000 more downloads per month because we were doing that, and what is that? 15 minutes each at most to create that? It's well worth it, right? Because the more downloads we have, the more people are hearing the message, the more people are likely to click on a link in the show notes. It all comes back to more people thinking about registering, more people taking advantage of maybe affiliate promotions that we're making. More people are helped, and our revenue also grows. So you have to know the difference, and you do that by looking at the numbers. Sometimes you'll be right, but sometimes you'll just be so very wrong. And one of those wrong cases is, really, truly, I would have to say social media, Instagram, it's not going to go away, but I can tell you the amount of time and energy that I'm putting in really on a daily basis. And I feel like I need to wash my hands. I feel dirty. The amount of time I'm wasting on those kinds of short little things that I could probably be nurturing my people in programs and memberships more. I feel like that is not giving me an ROI, and from the insights, it's like, well, what is this gaining me really? Because if these people are not coming over to my email list, and, there's a little evidence that they are, but how much? You've got to be able to measure that for yourself. Okay, so that was number 1. Stop thinking busy is productive. And that one, I'm still in it. I'm still making that mindset shift every day. Number 2 is do fewer but proven strategies. And this is where I'm a creator. I'm standing up. Hello, my name is Deborah, and I am a recovering creator. That means I love to create things. I love to make new programs. You heard me. I love to create podcasts. I love to write content. I actually love to do those kinds of things. But there's some things that I love to do. I kept creating more programs. And, I talked to somebody and I sat down and they're like, look at all this stuff. You have tons. You have ample content. You have ample this and ample that and da. Sell that shit. That was their message. They're like, market that shit. Don't create any more shit. You're not going to create any more. Literally. So these are what you're good friends. These are little pieces of advice from good friends and or from business coaches. It's what you'll get. You don't get somebody who says, oh my gosh, you're so good at this and that. No. That's the kind of thing you get from your family, right? But it's not useful to you. So you don't have to, and you really can't do it all. So you have to go all in on the few things that really matter. So, I took my signature course and realized, the first time I put that out to a very small audience, I made $6,000 in a weekend and I thought, oh my gosh, I've made it, right? Now, I mean, we do that sometimes in a day. That's not a big deal. But you have to start somewhere. So that program, instead of building another one, like cannibalizing it, I've made it better. Not necessarily by adding more content, because that just overwhelms our customers, but by updating it, going back in, re-recording it, recreating, adding new research, telling everybody it's updated. Those kinds of things are the proven strategies. Like, it worked. So I'm just going to amplify it. So instead of just sending it to my list, now I'm sending it to a far bigger list, but I'm also going to partner with affiliates who may want that for their people. And I'm going to advertise that program so that more people also get to see it. So at some point, your business life, that's just creating. You too are a creator, and a lot of us are. So then it's got to be marketing what you create and serving your customers. You show up not just when you're marketing to them to get them to buy something, but when you're servicing. So do that, because that will send around word of mouth, like you're really taking care of them. Success leaves clues. So I would suggest this too for you. Don't copy. Don't copy. There are people who've got titles to their programs that are almost exactly the same as me. And, sometimes that can't be helped, but other times you got to wonder, really? Really? Is that the best name that you could come up with? So it's important that you don't copy, but do look at models in front of you, meaning, you should be opting in for things, even buying programs to look at, if I wanted that program, what made me actually want it? What were the words? What were the marketing? What was the sales page like? What are the thank you pages like? What do I do next? Did I do the program, go through it? Why did I do it? What were they saying in the emails? That's good research. So if you know somebody's doing really well, follow what they're doing and recreate it, but in your own words, your own message for your own customer. Don't copy. And I don't mean create the same kind of graphics they create. So do the math and know what you need to do. This is another big mindset shift. All right. Successful trainers have goals for, say, every program. If you're not doing a launch, like you're selling into this program right now and then the doors close, you can't buy it after this point, you still should have a monthly goal for program sales. Like, how many this month, how many sales do I want to make in each program that you offer, or each type of coaching service? If I do only private coaching and I sell it for $19.97, how many of those, basically we're going to say $2,000 coaching packages, do I have to sell to hit my revenue goal of 20,000? Easy math, right? You have to get 10 new customers. So in order to sell 10 new customers, do you know your conversion rate? How many phone calls do you have to make? Well, if you know the odds, it's probably 100. You need to make 100 phone calls at least to sell 10 people. And that's probably, if you're really, really good, you might need to make 1,000, right? So it's more like 1% to 2% will actually convert today. That's the big word. So you've still warmed them up. If it's not a no, it's a no, not right now, and you can still check back. But you need to know what you need to do, because otherwise you don't know where you're running to. You're just, well, let's see how this comes out. Let's see how we do at the end of the month. No, right? You don't know what to do when you get up today. And it's Saturday as I record this. So today your goal might be, don't even turn on that computer. Don't turn on your phone. Don't answer your voicemails. Go away, go to the pool, go to the arts festival, go do whatever you do and stay away from things. But on other days, it's going to have to be, how many phone calls do I need to make today? What do I need to do as far as going live on my social media with a call to action? So if you don't know what your number is for revenue, so you can break that down into how many sales of each thing are going to make that up, you're left guessing, maybe this will work. Maybe that will work, but you should have the tasks, the things what will lead to these sales? Is it turning up the dollars in my ads? Is it going live more frequently and then ending with a call to action? Is it getting myself booked on podcasts? Is it getting affiliates who will also help promote my program? There's some kind of answer there. So if you have a revenue goal, then you know how many of your services you're gonna sell, right? Do you see what I did there? I didn't say that you need to sell. I said that you're going to sell. A truly committed entrepreneur commits to what they are going to do. They talk about what they're going to do and they do it. If you're going to see how it goes, your mindset not on your side right now. All right, let me review, right? So you have to stop thinking busy is productive and really look at numbers and know what's working, giving you ROI. Number 2, you're going to do fewer but proven strategies. So you want to go all in on just a few instead of going really broad with lots of things. You're going to do the math so you know what you need, like how many sales of each thing do you need, so that by the end of the first week, 7 days out of 30, are you 7 days to it? Do you have that many sales? Where are you halfway through the month? Are you halfway there, or do you need to change your strategy right now? That's knowing. Then here's this. It takes a village. So support those that support you. Surround yourself with other people who are doing what you're doing or doing what you want to do. It takes asking for help. It requires it. Successful people never don't have a coach or a mastermind. They try to be not the smartest, but actually the dumbest person in the room, or at least the most eager to learn and open-minded and most coachable person in the room. You'll never say, but I tried that and here's why it didn't work. You would never say that. You would say, and here's what I tried, and what do you think why that might not have worked and this still would? Can you help me with that? You keep an open mind and know there's more that you need to learn. This one is a trait that can't be ignored among every successful entrepreneur. Look at them and you'll see at least one group and at least one coach behind every successful entrepreneur. Many of us have more than one coach. You might have a mastermind, a business coach, a marketing coach, a speaking coach, and there will be a time when you'll want each one of them. So left to your own thoughts, or half a dozen podcasts, webinars, and workshops that you're trying to take advice from, you'll slow your progress. You don't want it too fast, meaning you don't want your progress going so fast that you don't even know why it happened, or too slow, right? So if you're doing certain things, you're making certain progress, you're saying, this is good. You could be dialing that up, right? Amplifying it. Okay, next, and this is really short, build an email list above all else. Okay, not just build it, but nurture it. Send them something that they value. Send people, your subscribers who do come in, something they value at least once a week. And I alluded to earlier, like you've got to build this freebie so amazing that it answers the exact question that they want an answer to. It solves a problem they want solved. You, in talking about that thing, stir up the problem, you create tension, and then you create the solution by saying, I have this 10 parts PDF for you, this ebook, or I have this video that is going to explain to you how you do that without pain and without discomfort, blah, blah, blah. You have to figure out what it is that they want. So you do have to have that freebie that will help you build your email list. You need to be able to talk about it to the exact person, not to every woman who's 55. because they're different. There's like 5 buying personas among women. So none of us are the same. And what turns one woman onto your product or service will turn another one off. So you've got to be really smart about your strategies. And then you want to send them an email with something that is of value to them at least once a week. More frequently, I think, is probably better if you're going to keep them engaged. But when you have an email list, you have the ability to sell anytime you send. Did you hear me? You don't have that ability on social media. So every time you send an email, there is a chance somebody will unsubscribe. Get over yourself. It's not an ego thing. People just are freebie seekers. They came in to get the freebie, they got the freebie, and they don't like you selling or promoting. So what are they saying? They either don't think that you could help them or they really don't want help. They just want to take you to lunch. Can I pick your brain? And then they make you pay. Right? I mean, these are not people you want to give your time and energy to. So don't think about it. If people, in fact, don't unsubscribe from your email list every time you email, you're probably not pushing the envelope hard enough. So think about that. Okay, next, here it is. Do the right things consistently. Right. Now, mindset shift, is that really a mindset shift? It is, in that you have to find the right things. It means literally from creating programs, tweaking your programs, creating funnels, emailing to your audience, looking at your conversion rate, making calls. If you don't have unlimited amounts of dollars to spend on your advertising, paid advertising, then calling people is the fastest way to inject your business with revenue. Every day, if you call one person, you ask them to become a client. If you speak to you speak for a living, is what I mean. Like, you get in front of audiences, and that's what you want to do. And you could speak for revenue, or you could speak for the opportunity to make a sales pitch so that you can earn revenue. There are different ways to look at that, but you're making the call to get booked for speaking. Like, can I come and talk to your group? And here's a topic I think they'd be interested in because of blah, blah, blah. If you're a coach, you call every day to ask a client to become a coaching client. If you're a personal trainer, you call one person every day to ask them to start or to come back or to refer a customer. And guess what? This works every single time. There's no one this doesn't work for. But I have clients who work with me for 12 weeks who are thrilled when clients ask to work with them one-on-one, but who won't call people they know that they could help. They say that I don't want to do that. They actually just want to sell programs and classes. I've got to tell you, though, programs, unless they cost $5,000 or $10,000, that is a long game. If you're trying to sell a program that is, $97 or $200 or $300, you have to sell a lot of them consistently over time in order for that to support you. And you've got to look at, if you put something just on a rolling start, like people can start every time, there's no urgency to them beginning like now, right? So they can decide later, no, I might wait till next week. It's not really good for me. So unless you create urgency, some kind of more rapid call to action or incentive, you're probably not going to get many of them. And, think about it. If you have a big revenue goal and you want to make, say, your first $5,000 every single month consistently is often, a first start for a lot of trainers. That would be a big deal, and it would be really supportive of their family if they could do that. But think about how many $97 programs you have to sell in order to do that. So, 50 of them. How are you going to do that? How are you going to get in front of 50 different people and make that possible? And yet, if your goals are bigger than that, your revenue goals are 10,000 or 20,000, then again, you've got to think about how are you doing that. But if you are charging $5,000 for a private client, and you take in 5 or 3 or even 2 of them every single week, you sell one, by the end of the month, you're at a pretty good level. You've increased your revenue by what? Plus you can build it selling some programs on the side. But that again, it's going to be a long game till you build your brand and your reputation. So think about what you want ultimately, yes, but do what you need to now to keep yourself and your business going and keep yourself learning about your customer. You've got to ask the question, whatever it is I want long term, can you survive while you're doing it? Because it can be very hard just to stick it out to do programs over time and have that be your sole source of revenue, unless there's a bigger thing behind it. So last but not least, this is not a mindset shift, but this is kind of the compilation of all the things, and I'll summarize them again. Stop thinking busy is productive. Do fewer but proven strategies. Do the math and know what you need to do to get there. It takes a village. So reach out, get support, but also that support will come back to you when you're supporting other people. Build an email list above all else, and then do the right things consistently. A lot of times starting out, it's going to be making those phone calls, but that will make you successful for decades. Not that you have to do it for decades, but that if you can do that, you'll know I'm in control. I can make money any day of the year by doing this. And last is this. Don't complain about money you don't have from work or commitments that you're not keeping. So that goes for relationships and for work. If you don't show up consistently for someone, if something else is always more important or interrupts things that make a difference, you're not that committed. So think about what your definition of success is. And there's no judgment coming from this side of the microphone. So whatever you want to do, define your business. I mean, don't go looking outwardly at somebody who looks all glamorous and happy from their social media account, because you really don't know what's happening under the hood. Look at what's the dollar amount of success? How do you want to define your lifestyle? What you're contributing to your household? And what does that look like for you? And just you're the only one who has to see this, but be starkly honest with, will you be satisfied if at the end of your life, this is what you did? Then great. But you've got to get to that knowing of what that is first. And then figure out, what are the resources I need? I'm going to put some resources in the show notes, and the show notes will be at fitnessmarketingmastery.com/6-figure months. So please, I'm hoping to have a few comments from you. It's not been all that long ago that we renamed the podcast She Means Fitness Business. Thank you to all of your votes. And, I can't tell you this enough, but what are you waiting for? The world really does need us now more than ever, and they need your voice. So if you're doubting yourself, thinking, why do they need another person to do this and do that and do the thing with the people you want to do it with? We do. Not any one of us can solve everybody's problems or be the voice that everyone wants to listen to regularly. So go for it. I believe that if you have this urge and this itch to do it, you have the ability to do it. All right, what are you waiting for? Let's go get them.